and welcome back to
the Zak
and Buzz
Review.
Commander Galadriel.
Yes,
Rings of Power.
Yes.
Season 2.
yes,
Yay!
and it is looking good.
Yes, we have watched the first episode now. Elven Kings Under the Sky.
Yeah, after the trash in the first series got, which personally I feel was unfair,
Unnecessary, yes.
unnecessary from some people out there. This one is looking really good. Now we're doing this as review as individual episode reviews.
Yes.
Okay, because the first 3 are out, and we're not doing them as a cram them all.
No, we're not going to bundle them into one. We're going to watch
sure-
them each one after another,
I'm sure a lot of you
and review as we go along.
Sure, a lot of you watched all 3 because
Probably
you
already,
can't
yeah.
help yourselves. But we're doing the reviews as individual ones. So after we've done this one, then we'll be doing the next episode and so forth.
So, with this,
Yes.
I think the best place to start is at the very beginning.
Yes.
And the first sequence, is actually before Season 1.
I'm Halbrand.
Yeah, and
And we find out how Sauron became Halbrand,
how he ends up.
who is
on
obviously revealed to be Sauron in the end of Season 1.
and how he ends up on the shipwreck.
Yeah, it's kind of... It turns into like a gooey mass.
Oh, that was brilliant! Absolutely brilliant. But you see, things.
It was very Stranger Things-esque, I found that bit.
Well, in a way, it was kind of. Several things were hitting me at once with that. Firstly, do you remember the blob creature out of Star Trek: Next Generation? That was like a sludgy creature that I think he took that took Diana Troy hostage in a shuttlecraft.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Kind of reminded me of this kind of like oil slick monster.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's like flops out after the gets run over by a cart.
Yeah.
It goes around the wheel.
That's quite funny.
And then climbs in the back. But the shots of that was so reminiscent of Skyrim. You know, you felt
man,
like
yeah.
you felt you were in Skyrim.
I expect someone to say, "Hey, you're finally awake."
Is it? Everything's for sale, was it? And anyway, I tell you what, though, just for a second, let's show that the actual way this is filmed. I mean, it is beautiful. You know, I am loving the wide shots and everything is superb. Anyway, back to Sauron.
Yeah, back to Sauron.
Well, the thing is with Sauron, I mean, he is like. Let me get off. Actually, well, I think he's a Maya, M-A-I-A,
Maya.
Basically, he's like a fallen angel, if you like, in the Tolkien.
Well, I know that
world.
Gandalf is.
Yeah, so he is the same, and he was the lieutenant to Morgoth.
Yeah.
So Morgoth
He
was
like the big bad.
the original big bad guy that gets defeated.
And he's trying to take over from Morgoth,
yeah,
at
so
which point...
that's what we see, don't we?
Yeah, and Adar says, "No, thank you very much."
Yeah,
Stabs him.
'cause
He
that-
dies,
But he doesn't.
but he doesn't.
Because he turns into the sludge monster and then comes back in the visage that we know him to have now.
Halbrand.
Halbrand.
And obviously, from that point, he goes onto the ship, at which point gets attacked by a sea serpent thing, finds Galadriel. Season 1 happens.
Don't forget, he grabs the bloke's king of the Southlands.
Well, yeah, that's...
thing.
Yeah, okay.
And that's where he gets the guys from of being king of Southlands. And I think that tied that up really well.
Yeah, because that was a big question that was left in Season 1. It's like,
Yeah,
how and why was he there?
I suppose you could say
on the
if you
ship?
watch Season 1, you might be scratching your head and criticising at that point. I don't quite understand what the hell's
But
going
he got
on.
answered. So
He
that's
got
very
answered
nice.
and answered very well. I really enjoyed that. So yes, so we have him back.
Maybe we should go on to the elf stuff, because this is very much kind of like in 3 stories going on at this point.
Yeah.
Elf stuff.
Elf stuff.
Elf stuff. We've
The
got
rings.
Harold Elrond.
Elrond
Yep.
wants to destroy the 3 rings because they could be corrupted,
Yes.
corrupted by Sauron.
And he's actually right.
Kinda, yeah.
I know. The three rings for 3 elven kings.
Yes.
The thing is, and I also liked about the scene where they actually end up with the rings, and they've all got their hand. Do you want to add a hand in? There you go. There you go. No, you got your fingers up the other way. That's it, like that, and they're showing their rings off to each other. And the underlying music was the song of the rings.
Yeah,
of Mordor.
as the tree came back to life,
And,
that was very cool.
And it was brilliant because you've got the song of the Mordor rings, you know, and it really kind of felt and linked that feel to Peter Jackson's movies.
So, who has actually got the rings? Because Elrond's ploy to destroy them kind of failed epically.
Yeah, so you got the...
He jumped off a cliff, went to a guide say, I need to destroy these.
Oldest elf.
Yes,
still,
who would be his
there.
wisest friend, and he basically does go to destroy them, but obviously doesn't.
I don't know. His boat gets nudged by something.
I think it could be the rings saying,
Right.
"No, don't kill me."
A bit like what's the thing out of Harry Potter? Well, mind you, that's where she gets the idea from, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cause,
Ooh, burn.
Because Sauron obviously puts his
Horcrux.
malevolence into the rings.
Malevolence.
Malevolence?
Malevolence.
Malevolence.
Lots of words and vowels.
Yeah, into the rings. So it's like having his spirit in the rings,
Trying to protect them.
which is like the Horcruxes from Harry Potter, which I think she probably got a bit.
So,
anyway.
who gets the rings?
Yes.
Gil-galad is
Yes.
the main elf king man.
Yes.
He's got the blue one. The old wise elf
He
has
gets
the
red one, who ends
and
up giving it, I suppose, to Gandalf.
the most hilarious part I find is that Galadriel, whose allegiances are very much in question at this point,
That's it. She's been moaned at left, right, and centre.
she gets a ring because it just falls on the floor and she picks it up.
And the king looks at her and sort of thinks to himself, "Well, that's the girly one, so you can have it."
I just find that hilarious that that's how she gets the ring.
Yes.
And obviously, fast forward to Lord of the Rings, she's the only one who's still obviously got the ring.
This task was appointed to you, Frodo of the Shire.
And it's like, okay, you can have it. It's fallen at your feet. There you go.
So they've saved the day. They don't have to leave. They can save Middle-earth from Sauron.
Yes, Elvedon
subsequently.
and Middle-earth is there.
Yes.
It's all been
They
refreshed.
don't have to leave. It's
been
good.
Been refreshed, and they've got a new forge as well.
Mm-hmm. So, next on, I think we should go to the Stranger and Nori. The Stranger obviously being Gandalf.
Yeah,
it's very clear. You literally see him dreaming about his wizard staff in this one.
This is my staff of power.
On their quest to Rune.
Yes.
On their quest to Rune. And they're obviously being followed at this point.
By the servants of Sauron.
And what turns out to be Poppy,
Oh, yes, good old
Nori's
Poppy.
halfling friend.
She brought some honey biscuits.
Yes.
Which is very welcome.
And they have to follow the walking song to kind of find
Yes,
their way and
that's
get
it.
lost.
Because they keep going around in circles in that desert area,
Yeah.
and the walking song actually points them in the right direction.
Which is cool.
That was a bit of fun.
Yes, so they're kind of followed by the one person, but they're also followed by the bad people.
The bad ones, the bad wizard people have got the Eye of Sauron on their back.
Yeah, and it's very interesting just kind of going to where this is obviously going to go with a preview trailer. We saw that obviously we're going to see, I assume, Radagast the Brown and like an evil wizard of some kind as well.
What, in the
preview trailer for the
yeah,
season.
well, when you say Radagast the Brown, are you talking to the guy he's talking to?
Yeah.
No, that's Tom Bombadil.
Oh, it's Tom
Tom Bombadil, get it right.
Oh,
Come on.
wow. Spoilers.
This is Tom Bombadil, I believe.
I didn't know that was Tom Bombadil.
I believe it's Tom Bombadil.
He had a brown beard and wore a
I know,
hat.
yeah, I know, but I presume it's Tom Bombadil that he finds.
There you go then, Revelations
Yes,
as we
which
review
I'm really
it.
looking forward to seeing how they present Tom Bombadillo, because he's always singing in the book.
Fair enough. Okay, anything else to add on the Stranger stuff?
No, that's about it, really.
Okie dokie. Wow.
Apart from the fact that they were stuck for anything to eat, and then they found a whole load of bugs.
It's very much progressing the story with them. Interested to see where that goes, because we never actually see Rune in Lord of the Rings at all. We just hear about it. So, other story is obviously Halbrand. He's obviously gone back to Mordor under the guise of the King of the Southlands. Has been captured by
Free my people!
Adar and his orky friends. Put into chains and
Beaten up a bit.
beaten up a bit. Makes a friend with a warg.
Yeah.
In the background, we have a warg. Anyway,
Yes.
so he makes a deal with Adar to find Sauron and give away the information he has on him. But who he obviously is
Yes,
Sauron.
When he's leaving Mordor, he has a little wry smile on his face.
Yes.
I think really he's just doing he's doing the rounds, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, he is. I mean, he's already come back from Sludge Monster to where he is now.
Yeah.
I don't think even when they were beating him up that really that was bothering him at all. I don't think that he's really, taking the hits and he's pretending to be a mortal.
Yeah.
But he's literally, he's just doing the rounds to see who's doing what and where, and that helps him to plan.
I did find that quite funny how
makes his grand scheme.
goes to Mordor end of first season. Within the first episode he just comes back to Celebrimbor.
Yeah, there you go. But that was the only area of this particular episode that I was a bit confused on. So I mean, anybody out there that wants to add to this, the Elven King sends a note to Celebrimbor. Do you say
Celebrimbor.
Celebrimbor?
Or Celebrimbor.
To say, do not have anything to do with Halbrand.
Yeah, he's Sauron. Really don't. He's bad.
He's bad. Don't have anything
Don't
to do.
trust him.
Don't trust him anymore. So they know that he's Sauron.
Or they might do. We don't know, because Celebrimbor looks to his friend or his elf guard. It's like, should we let him in?
Yeah.
Or whatever. And it's like...
Well, we don't know if that note ever got to him.
By that point. We don't know.
But obviously, the King of the South, supposedly, has arrived again to help him out.
Well... Yeah, he's going to obviously make the further rings, isn't he?
Yeah, well, we have...
For the dwarves.
We have... And then, of course, at the end of the episode, we had then the sort of series preview.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it earlier in the review, but I think that looked proper,
I mean, there was some
proper good stuff
in there. You know, we obviously get to see the Elven rings. We've seen the Dwarven rings. We have not seen...
They mentioned the ones for the
rings
men.
for the humans.
Yeah.
And
we do kind of get a little...
They are too easily corrupted.
Like, nudge to the fate of, obviously, Numenor. It looks like they've got the big eagles, and I think it's going to sink horribly soon.
Horribly.
But yeah, I think the action scenes, especially in that trailer, look rather awesome. Because it looks like they're going to be rather plentiful this season.
I think there's literally a 2-episode battle.
Which would be fantastic.
I believe.
That would be epic.
And what I've got to do is I've got to throw out a big credit to the costume department, because the amount of physical effects that they've been doing with all the orcs and everything.
Prosthetics and the
The
orcs.
prosthetics look fantastic.
That's how you do it. You don't CG them like in The Hobbit. You actually do the prosthetics.
They could have CG'd all that, but
they didn't.
They didn't, or they could have just kept 2 or 3, for the actual prosthetics, and then CG'd a lot of the others. But they didn't. They really went to town with having loads of the orcs, and they look fantastic. And
do you think they improved the warg this season?
Well, it didn't look like a mad chihuahua. It was still.
So yes,
it wasn't.
Yes,
it wasn't kind of brilliant, but it was
all right. It was all right. But the thing we haven't actually talked about is they recast Adar.
Yeah, I think he needed a bit more of a pointy nose.
Well, I mean, there's only so far you can really go when you're recasting someone, but I think he did a reasonably good job.
Yes, I think I kind of think that he's for the character he is. Do you think he's been a bit lenient, letting Halbrand go?
Well, he says follow him.
Yeah, I mean, he has to put his head on the floor and says, "I will." What did he say? I'll follow the true.
The Lord of Mordor.
Lord of Mordor, which he knows is him.
Yeah.
Which is
till the end of my days.
Till the end of my days. At the end of his. So he's kind of
I don't know. It might be that Adar's actually a bit cleverer than we think he is. I think he might be kind of anticipating something along these lines.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
But
that's what we're going to find out, which is really exciting.
But I kind of still feel that Sauron is just breezing his way through this, because you kind of think that if he really wanted to, he could just explode into his persona.
Well, that's the thing. He's very much what we are seeing now. We've had the reveal
send out the quake.
He is Sauron, but he's still he's essentially his only follower at this point.
He is weaving a very, very fine web, isn't
web between the lines,
and I think that's what's going to be very interesting to watch how this develops. So this is great. So episode 1,
I liked it. Very good.
Great start.
Out of 10, what would you rate it?
I'm going to give it.
Was it kicking?
And I just loved the whole aesthetics of.
Go on, give it a number. Give it a number.
I'm giving it a 9.
9. I think that's a solid one. Yeah, I'm going to go with 9 as well.
It was a really good.
It was impressive.
Yeah.
It was a good way to kind of kickstart the season. I'm very much looking forward to what's to come.
Yeah, it tied his stuff up with Sauron, which I liked, and it just felt really good. And so, we are going to be looking forward with anticipation to reviewing episode 2.
That's what we were going to watch after this review.
Yes.
And episode 3 maybe.
Yeah.
So, did that review make you very parched?
Oh, it did actually. It did.
Yes,
did.
we were very enthusiastic about that review.
Yes, and
I very much enjoyed it.
I need to stay awake for the rest of the Rings of Power.
And how can we do that?
By drinking a coffee.
Buy us a coffee.
Buy us
That
a
would
coffee.
be absolutely fantastic.
Oh,
Please support the
I can
channel.
see where you're going with that.
We love to make these reviews for you, and please support us if you can.
Do love a coffee. Anyway, there you go.
If you enjoyed this review, please like and subscribe to this channel and comment below any suggestions of further reviews you'd like to see.
Catch you in the next one.